Bonjour, Kinamagi and Ireland Indigenicast, and welcome to the latest episode of the My Math Network. This episode featuring Chapter 12, Lesson 6, Hands-on Build Three-Dimensional Figures. All right, we'll begin with our central question, which all of Chapter 12 is, how does geometry help me solve problems in everyday life? And you will need the packet that begins on page 935. It says Lesson 6, Hands-on, and there's several vocabulary words. For this lesson, if you have grid paper available, it would be beneficial. And anytime as we're working that we get ahead of you, feel free to pause the video or review something by rewinding the video. And you'll be able to be successful. All right, so let's look at the highlighted words first. A three-dimensional figure has length, width, and height. Talked a lot about squares. Well, now we're going to talk cubes. Talked about rectangles. Now it's talking about prisms. A net is a two-dimensional pattern of a three-dimensional figure. You can use a net to build a three-dimensional figure. And you can see one right here that if you cut it out, you could fold it into that shape. A cube is a three-dimensional figure with six faces that are congruent squares. Basic, niche this way, and you and nine, good this way. A rectangular prism will look like what you see on 935. And a face is a flat surface. And one of these is a face here. Once you cut out the net and fold along the lines to form a three-dimensional figure, what one did you form? Of course, you said it was a cube, because I already went there. So I'll write cube on line 2, and then we'll actually be able to turn to the top of 936. With another one. On 936, we're going to try it, so we'll need some grid paper for that. And once you've copied it on there, and you copy, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to count your cubes to make sure they work out right. You're going to pause the video and come back when you're ready. Welcome back. So once you cut, now let's make sure you cut it out. Fold the line along the lines, form a three-dimensional figure. And then you're going to tell me what figure you formed. And of course, it's a rectangular prism. How is the cube and the rectangular prism alike? And how are they different? Go ahead and pause the video again to answer those two. And we'll talk to you when you're ready. We'll pause the video now. Welcome back. They each have six faces that meet at right angles. And the first figure has faces that are all congruent. These four are congruent, but not and these two are congruent, but not all six are congruent. All right, let's talk about it. And talk about it, you're welcome to write down what we talk about by pausing the video, but you're not required to. In the first activity, what two-dimensional figure forms faces of the figure? Well, that was a square. And there are six of them, and they're all congruent. So 6, 6, and 6. 6 and 6. Let's see, 5 units, 5 units, 5 units. Identify the length, width, and height of the cube. Let's see, 5, 5, 5. And they didn't tell us whether those were meters or inches or millimeters. So we're just going to use the generic units. What do you notice about the length, width, and height of the cube? Well, hopefully you noticed that they're all congruent. That's the key part for a cube. And then looking at this from the second activity, what two-dimensional figure? Those are rectangles and squares. 4 congruent rectangles, 2 congruent squares. All right, let's now flip over to practice it. With each of these, you're going to do it, and then while the video is paused, and then come back when you're ready. And it says on number 5, copy the net onto grid paper, cut it out, and fold along the lines to form a three-dimensional figure. And then what did you form? You can pause the video. Welcome back. It's a rectangular prism. See, this one, these two are congruent, these two, and these two. All right, now answer question 6, right? And you may pause the video. Welcome back. They are rectangles. There are 6 faces, 3 pair of congruent rectangles. Pair 1, pair 2, and pair 3. Number 7, you may pause the video now. Welcome back. It's a cube. And you can tell because these are all 4 by 4. So they're all congruent. Now number 8, go ahead and pause the video. Welcome back. It's a square with 6 faces, and all 6 are congruent. And the last practice one today, oops. Length, width, and height, well, I kind of gave that away. 4, 4, and once you put it together, it's going to be 4 again. So looking at the homework, you can see that again, and it talks about it. There's a vocab check. You can refer to this grid. I'll actually have to do one. And complete it. When you've completed, make sure the assignment is turned in with your name on it. Key part with your name on it. If you're going to email me the worksheet, make sure that your name is on both sides. So that when you send it to me, I know what it is. Make sure I can see the page number as well. And you can email that to me by scanning it as well at mireland@flagshipschool.net. If you have any questions, reach out to me at that same email address. Always have a minute, Minwa, Mama P.